This past week, I had three important discussions with my mentor and two other mentees. I had more discussions with mentees, but two that really come to mind. And it got me thinking about why do I have a mentor and how did that process come about? So the first discussion was last weekend. It was with my mentor in this business acquisition process. We've had a business relationship for almost 31 years now, long time. And I had some important decisions to make that I wanted to bounce off him and get his input, and I did that, and it was very helpful. So that was number one. Number two was a current mentee that I've mentored since middle of 2019. He's done 45 deals, and he had an important decision with respect to a key executive, and also now at 45 deals, he wanted to talk about a plan for exiting. He was also smart enough, and I'm very grateful for this. He was smart enough to recognize that a good mentor-mentee relationship is mutual. So several times he asked me if I wanted a piece of that deal. I said no. To his credit, he was persistent and kept asking. I eventually said, yes, I will take a piece of that deal. And I'm glad I did. With 45 deals and a bright pipeline and future ahead, it's worked out well. It's only been about less than 18 months since he left his job. And to where he is now versus where he was, hard to imagine that. And he said that is that the success I've had is something that I wouldn't have seen at the point I left. But he can see it now, and the numbers he talks about roll off his mouth so easily compared to the way those discussions would have gone 18 months ago. But that's a great point on mentors, is that you should find a way to make it mutually beneficial. That was one way. There's other ways, certainly. My first mentor, he and I did several deals and worked on several deals together, both to our benefit. Not all worked out, but a lot of them were fruitful for both of us. And then lastly, a current mentee, he's got 8 deals done, and he has an important business decision to make. We talked about that as well. But all of those pointed out why I have a mentor. In the beginning, I've really had two mentors. In the beginning in my corporate career, I had a mentor who was a general sales manager. I recognized his talents, he recognized my talents. We both worked on a program that was the largest order at the time for this division of a Fortune 500 company. And so it was good for both of us. It was good for both our careers. I learned a ton from him. So what things did I learn? A lot of what I was doing in the beginning of my corporate sales career was new to me. So I hadn't done it before, just like this process for you perhaps. There were fears that I had. Working with someone who had been through those processes was really important. And I began to see, okay, this is how you work those problems. This is how you solve those problems. These are techniques to use. It gave me insights that maybe I would have picked up if I stumbled and bumbled along. But I didn't need to do that because I had someone who could lead me in that path. Eventually, that was both good for both of us. We both got promotions, and then I left. Which brings me to my second mentor, who taught me this process of business acquisition. And we've, as I said, had a relationship for just about 31 years. Same thing. In that case, I learned this was a new process. I had fears in the process, particularly with some of the fights that I had along the way, business fights, business partner fights. Those were places that he had been. Those were places that he had experience. In acquisition, obviously, he had experience that I didn't have and learned as well. And so all of those are really important. Would I have gotten to the same place? Probably not, as I am now. Did that shorten the curve? Sure did. Did that give me insights that I wouldn't have come to by myself? Yes. So As important as mentors were for me, I hope that you realize how important they will be for you in this process. None of us does this alone. You end up surrounding yourself with people that are more experienced, have experiences and solutions that you haven't been through yet. And if you're smart, you will pick those people carefully. The mentee who had an important business decision said something to me that I kind of forgot, but it's really important. And he said, one of the things I enjoy about working with you, and I don't know if it was in contrast to the board, but at least it stood out in comparison, is I feel like you have my best interests at heart. And that was true with the first mentor. That was true with the mentee where I took a piece of the deal, and it's true with this mentee as well. And those situations are hard, and you will find in adversity if that person truly has your best interest at heart or not. And that's where these relationships get tested. In my case, I went through that with all of my mentors, and it turned out to be the case that in fact those were true. So I would encourage you to think about that. There are times you are going to be in a fight. There are times you're going to have some tough decisions, and to be able to bounce that off someone with more experience that's been there and done that, that's invaluable. And to me, it has been invaluable, and it shortcut. So find a mentor. There's a lot of ways to do it. I'm going to talk in a podcast on Monday about how to do that. But one of the things I would encourage you, if you have an interest in working with me, go over to brucewhipple.com. Look at the courses. Look at the group coaching. The best program and the closest relationship that I have with mentees is in the VIP Mastermind. We're in the process of adding some people to that. So if you look at that and you're serious, send me an email if you're serious. So I wanted to talk about how important mentors were to me, how I've seen them benefit mentees with the number of deals or the decisions they have to make. And I hope that you realize that a mentor who's the right mentor can shortcut this process for you and help you in so many other ways. So with that, take a look at brucewhipple.com, make some decisions, pick some people around you that are more experienced and better than you. And if you do that, and I would encourage you to do that, you will be more successful typically than those who do not do that.